Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How everybody doing? My name is Brother Naeem from Houston, Texas. Master Farouk for CasaIslamica.com. Again, Assalamu alaikum. May peace and blessings be upon everybody who's watching. I just want to start off and I'm going to share my experience with Islam as a Muslim convert or revert. So first a little bit about myself. Again, I'm 24 years old. I was born in Dayton, Ohio. I've been Muslim, alhamdulillah, 3 years. I just want to start off by saying, first off, anything that I say that is true or that is right or correct, is the blessing of Allah and it's from the guidance of Allah. And anything that I'll say that's not correct, it's my own fault, my own mistake. And, I just want to say I'm not a scholar of Islam or anything like that. I just want to talk a little bit about this religion and maybe my words can go out there to somebody who's interested in Islam or a Muslim person who maybe got away from Islam or whatever the case may be, just to talk about this religion. And the reason that I want to do this, mainly is for two reasons. Number one, like I said, I've been Muslim 3 years, and I can honestly say that the best thing that ever happened to me was coming into Islam. Becoming a Muslim. I think that's the greatest thing that Allah gave to me, because I can honestly say, just a little background, I was raised Christian. I was a Christian since I was, raised Christian, a strong Christian background until I was 21. And no disrespect to nobody's belief of a religion, but I can say my life before Islam and now is like darkness in the light. You know what I mean? Everything since I became became Muslim has changed. The way I think, the way I treat other people, the way I view the world, my goals in life. And number two, the reason I want to do this is because I feel like if you believe in something, you have to stand up for that. And all across the world right now, I don't have to name names or point out situations, but it's like the Muslims are the number one enemy. Islam is the enemy right now. They say we're terrorists. They say this is a religion of hate. This is a religion of war, and that's not what it is, I'm not a terrorist, I'm not trying to kill nobody. I'm not trying to hurt nobody. In fact, I know for a fact if it wasn't for Islam, I would probably be in jail. I would probably be in a bad situation right now, because the way I was living prior to Islam, it was detrimental. I was on going to a bad place, and it's Islam that saved me. And I just feel bad when I see Muslim people getting murdered and killed. Or they would take what a handful of Muslims do and try to paint that as a picture of Islam, and that's not what it's about. It's 1.5 billion Muslims in the world, and they take one Muslim person or 10 or 20 and try to say this is how all Muslims are, and that's not how it is. For instance, you can't say all Christians are racist because of what the Ku Klux Klan do. You can't say, well, look at Timothy McVeigh, his bombing in Oklahoma City, and say, well, all Muslims, you can't do that. It's not fair, and that's not the way it is. So I'm going to share my experience of Islam a little bit. First and foremost, I will have to say that if I can give a little metaphor about Islam, Christianity, and life in general, I would say that I could put it like this. Say if it's a hot day, and somebody give you a glass of water to drink, and in that one glass of water, even though you're hot, even though you're thirsty, in that one glass of water, you would see this person, or you see there's a little bit of dirt in that glass. And just one drop of dirt in that glass, you're not going to drink that water because it's impure. And that's what I would say about Christianity, because from a very young child, I seen a lot of contradiction in Christianity. I seen a lot of things in the Bible that didn't make sense to me. And now we're just talking about a glass of water that you're going to drink. You wouldn't drink it if it's impure. How can you follow a religion that's been changed, a religion that's not in its pure form? And the first thing going back as a young child, I would always think was this concept of Jesus dying for my sins. To me, that never made sense, even as a child. And the reason why, as a kid, one of my favorite stories in the Bible was the story of Moses and the people of Israel. And I would read the Old Testament and read about Abraham and all of these people in the Old Testament, and I never heard anything about Jesus being the Son of God. As a matter of fact, of the 10 commandments that Moses brought, the first commandment that Moses gave to the Israelites was worship nobody but God. So when I as a kid, I would wonder, okay, well, if Jesus died for the sins of everybody after him, what about the people before him? Why don't you hear Moses praying to Jesus? That's one thing I never understood as a kid. and also this concept of the Holy Trinity, you know, God, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. I mean, I'm not no mathematician, but, you know, 3 is not 1. It never made sense to me, you know. So those are things that just, as a kid, but as a kid and a young person, you're taught, you know what, this is what you believe, this is it, don't ask questions about this. I mean, my mother taught me to question everything. My mother taught me, if you don't think something is right, you question that. If something don't make sense, you question that. But when it came to this religion, these questions I had, I was just basically told to shut up and listen. So as a youth, I grew up with these questions in my mind, you know. Or for instance, in the Bible, it's a story where they say Jesus was on the cross and during the crucifixion, he yelled out, "God, why have thou forsaken me?" You know, that's something that's stuck in my head. What is this, God? What is this, Jesus questioning God? Something that's ordained to happen? And these are just small things. I mean, it's a lot of them. And another thing, and I remember one, you know, pinnacle moment was when I seen the movie Malcolm X, you know, and that really opened a lot of doors to me, you know. For instance, where in the Bible it says that Jesus had skin like brass and hair like wool, you know. But yet in Christianity, whenever I seen Jesus, that's not how I seen the picture of him. Now, true, it doesn't matter what Jesus looked like. It doesn't matter. But my question is this: if they're gonna lie about what he looked like, what else are they gonna lie about? You know, Christmas, for instance. Christmas is supposed to be Jesus' birthday. Why am I seeing Santa Claus? And why don't I go to the mall and sit on Jesus' lap and he give me gifts? I mean, as a kid, this is how I thought, you know, reindeer. Well, what is this about? You know? And then I was watching something or read something where they said that they know that Jesus wasn't even born on December 25th. And I would say to myself, if they lied about this, what else they lying about? And this goes back to that glass of water I'm telling you about. I mean, if you want to lie to me about anything, okay, that's fine. But you can't lie to me about a religion where if I follow this thing you lied to me about, I'm going to be in hellfire forever. So, and that's what it comes down to. So, and another thing, the breaking point when I finally said I'm leaving Christendom or the Christian as an organized religion was when I found out there's so many different versions of the Bible, you know. My family background, I had Jehovah's Witness, Catholic, Baptist, Southern Baptist, any type of Christian we had in my family. All of them claimed to be one religion, but all of them had different versions of the same Bible, you know. For instance, I give you a perfect example. If you go to any bookstore, Barnes & Noble, Half Price, but any bookstore you go to the religious section, you will see so many different versions of the Bible. And this is a King James version of the Bible, for instance. This is my question. If God sent down this Bible, who is King James to change it? Why would you have to change? Why would the hands of man change something that God wrote, you know? So these are things that planted seeds, you know. Everything, even the biggest tree just starts with one seed, you know. So these are things that planted seeds in my mind. So finally, it was a point in my life. I was about 18 or 19. I finally said, I'm not religious anymore, you know. I'm just spiritual. I'm just spiritual, you know. And that's a little bit of the start of how it came into Islam, you know. And I'm not going to sit here and try to convert you to Islam. No, I'm not going to do that. I just want to plant seeds. Because I know a lot of people think these things that I've thought. So one thing that made me really start exploring Islam, wanting to know about the Muslims, is when I found out that the Holy Quran had never been changed. From the time it was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, 1400 years ago in Mecca, to today, it's never been changed. So, I mean, it's a long story, but that's just I'm just trying to plant seeds with everybody who's watching. So, before you judge the Muslims, before you judge Islam, you know, research the religion, because it's the most important decision you're going to make. Who are you going to worship? Who are you going to believe in? And what are you going to put your soul in? You know, so if anything, I could say just, you know, go out there and research this religion of Islam. Just don't, you know, believe what they say on TV. You know, this Quran has never been changed in 1400 years. That's a miracle in itself. And if you want to know about Islam, pick up the Holy Quran and read it. And inshallah, Allah will guide you. So that's it for now. For CasaIslamica.com, Brother Naeem, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.